Have you seen the stunning evening skies lately? You know, when Venus and Jupiter come together in the evening, there is almost nothing quite as celestially beautiful as that combination. And it means good things for us this week as well. Scorpio friends, Venus and Jupiter are expanding your horizons this week, whether through travel, study, philosophy, or a belief that suddenly feels real and true. It's all happening in your ninth house with the conjunction of Venus and Jupiter, so let's find out more. This video is a forecast for your sun, moon, or your rising sign, and you can check out all three here at the Guiding Star Astrology YouTube channel, and they're going to tell you how the stars are going to affect your life this week. I'm Kesenya, and welcome to the Astro News and Weather Report for the second week of June 2026. Love or falling in love all over again with our partner, as the case may be depending on your circumstances, or it can also represent an expansion of your desires. It's all for our blessing this week, and aren't we ready for it? Let's take a bit of a deeper look at this combination of energies. Why this occurring in Cancer makes this an extra special conjunction, because the sign matters enormously this time around. Jupiter is only in Cancer every 12 years, and he's in his exaltation sign when he's there. So this is considered to be one of the most genuinely abundant Venus-Jupiter meetings in years. And we all know in astrological tradition, when there's a planet in its exaltation sign, it's said to perform at its very best and to even uplift the other planets around it. So Jupiter's in his sign of exaltation. It's going to bring out the finest qualities of Jupiter. Now, Jupiter in Cancer is creative, intuitive, generous, abundant, and very protective and supportive. Jupiter is actually the great protector of the solar system. Quite literally in astronomy, he sucks all the asteroids and debris in the outer solar system into his magnetosphere, which is enormous, and gobbles it all up, so we don't suffer from too much celestial debris in the inner solar system where we reside here on Earth. So thanks be to Jupiter for his protective qualities. Hence, I believe there's an association between Jupiter and Cancer. Perhaps that's the reason why he's exalted there. There is an association with protectiveness. Jupiter, the great protector of the inner solar system. Cancer, the great mother protective energy of that sign. Now, Venus in Cancer, what's that all about? Venus, when she's in Cancer, favors emotional safety over excitement, depth over flirtation, and home-centered intimacy over public displays of her usual romance. So it's a good time to deepen existing relationships under this transit, and any new relationships that's abound are out of Venus-Jupiter conjunction. And Venus-Jupiter conjunction was one of the reasons my husband and I got together. You need to have looked at our astrology for that, and I do have a video all about our astrological meeting available in the Patreon family. But any new connections that form with Venus conjunct with Jupiter will feel sort of familiar very quickly, like you've known this person longer than you actually have. You've seen them somewhere before, or met them somewhere before, and maybe you existed together in another lifetime. You know what? This is actually the second Venus-Jupiter conjunction in the sign of Cancer. The first one occurred back in August 2025, and as Jupiter prepares to leave Cancer for another 12 years, he won't be back in his exaltation for 12 years, more's the pity. This conjunction carries an energy with it of fruiting and fulfillment. So we've had the first conjunction in August 2025. This is the second and the last conjunction for another 12 years. So we have to stop and think, what was going on in our lives last August? And how are those themes somehow repeating or culminating or reaching their fruition for us now? If you keep a diary, which is so handy when you're studying astrology, if you keep a diary, you can refer back and see what was prominent in your life at that time. But in plain terms, this conjunction is the moment that blesses the heart, the home, family bonds, and emotional intimacy in a really big way. The two benefics uniting in the sign of Cancer. I'll tell you a little bit about the mythologies of these two planets. Most of us do know the stories of Zeus or Jupiter from Greek mythology, but did you know that in Latin, Jupiter is called Jove, and it's the root word for jovial, happiness, joy. And so Jupiter has always been associated with joy, but also good fortune and good company. His sacred bird was the eagle. And so oftentimes if you see an eagle in some important way in your life, if an eagle shows up, it's an omen from Zeus or an omen from Jupiter. It has Jupiter energy. The oak tree was also sacred to Jupiter as well. In fact, priests at his temple in Dodona would divine the future by listening to the wind moving through the sacred grove of oaks at that temple. I have to share with you, just because it gives me joy. My husband and I got married in an oak forest when we got married, and it was truly a very special, spiritual, beautiful time. We actually saw eagle omens on that day, which I just thought was glorious. Now, Venus mythology, or otherwise known as Aphrodite, she was born from the sea foam. There's a bit of a background story to that, but I won't go into that here. She's the goddess of love. She's the goddess of beauty and desire. Arguably, she's the most mythologically magnetic figure in the ancient Parthenon. Everybody loves the story of the beautiful Venus. But ancient sources noted that in certain cults, Jupiter was actually worshipped in close association with Venus. They were kind of two for one in many ways, reflecting this long-standing mythological pairing of two benefic divine forces. So here they are meeting in Cancer, almost at the projected degree of fixed star Procyon. Now they're meeting at 25 degrees. Procyon's projected degree is 26 degrees of Cancer. And this carries its own meanings. Whenever we see Venus crossing the projected degree of Procyon on the ecliptic, we can see in our environment, or if we're born with this placement, we might see a lot of it in our lives generally, that we get a lot of benefits from influential friends. They back us up, they support us, they put their money where their mouth is. Our friends come to our aid. It's also, Venus with Procyon is very favorable for gain. And we may see this around the 9th or 10th of June. You might be more prone to be able to receive gains and benefits. It's also time to receive favors and benefits from friends and acquaintances, and time for you to leave your mark on the world around the 9th or 10th in some way. Now, some people will see more success in their lives if they are working in fields to do with religious affairs or sports or politics. In fact, a lot of politicians do have Procyon prominent in their chart, for better or for worse. But this conjunction is a good one for financial gain when Venus is there. Now, when Jupiter is in a conjunction with Procyon, it can give us an inclination to travel. We might have many journeys. We might go on a big long trip. We can also see when Jupiter is here that sometimes it triggers some troubles from our relatives, or troubles from the church, or trouble with the law. So do keep that in mind. But despite all these potential troubles with Jupiter here, we also get help from friends when Jupiter is with Procyon. They come to our rescue once again. It's time when Jupiter transits across Procyon to embrace your own determination. And if you are a mature person, Jupiter with Procyon can bring about the manifestation of profit and success. People who are less high vibrational might find themselves entangled in some sort of legal upheavals. So my prayer for everybody is that they're going for the high vibe energy and receiving the benefits of the divine. Scorpio, your horizons are expanding beautifully this week because Venus and Jupiter, the two great benefics, are coming together in the sky and in your 9th house, and they're inviting you to think bigger, to believe in the benevolence of the universe, to reach further, to aim higher, and to believe more boldly in what's possible for your life, Scorpio. Now, also, in a practical sense, travel and study and philosophy and adventure are all cosmically blessed this week. So if an opportunity to explore, to do something new, to learn something new, to broaden your world presents itself, the universe wants you to say yes to this, because great benevolence is available through those doors. Now, Scorpio, you're naturally deep and you're naturally intense in the most beautiful of ways. This is actually going to be enhanced in a really lovely manner by an energy of these two benefics bringing genuine warmth and openness into your life, making you wonderful, magnetic company for anybody who crosses your path. And financially, because these two are financial planets, opportunities connected to international ventures, publishing, education, and anything that expands your reach require you to give it serious attention this week, because out of those things can blossom the fruits of life financially. So if you get an opportunity to sell a product internationally or to collaborate with somebody on an international basis, go for it this week. A chance encounter also with somebody from a different background or somebody who grew up in a different manner to you, a different culture to you, is actually potentially on the cards for you, my Scorpio friends, and in it is the seed of some unexpected and lasting significance. So if you happen to come across and meet or interact in a significant way with somebody from a faraway place, make sure you give it a lot of credence, because out of that interaction could come some serious blessing and life change that you've been longing for. Now, for those who like astrology that digs a little deeper, let's take a look at the house lordships. Venus rules the 7th house and the 12th house in your chart. And so this indicates that potential collaborations, Venus ruling the 7th house, are blessed on an international scale. So maybe you want to do an interview with somebody who lives in another country, and that would be a really worthwhile endeavor. Maybe you might even be looking to travel to another country with a partner, and that could also bring blessing to your life. The 7th house is also a house of trade and business, and so trade and business to do with an international situation also can go very, very well. As can collaborative endeavors in study, in research, in expanding your understanding and horizon through maybe watching documentaries with somebody that you really enjoy being with, or going to a seminar or something like that that is designed to expand your understanding and your knowledge. Venus ruling the 12th house and the 7th house in the 9th house. Jupiter, on the other hand, rules the 5th house and the 2nd house, two very beneficial houses sitting in the 9th house. This is actually a wealth yoga. So you're very blessed, Scorpio. And fingers and toes crossed, it brings that great prosperity and benevolence your way. Jupiter in the 9th house ruling the 5th house can bring you lucky breaks. Not necessarily windfalls, but if you have, had taken a risk, invested in something, that's a bit nail-biting, it could really pay off this week. You may see it give back 100-fold, for example. But Jupiter, as a ruler of the 5th, also governs children and your own childlike heart. And so there's a real energy here of the house of joy coming to the 9th house of international travel. I think connecting with other people from faraway places, even if it's, just online, that's fine, even if it's not in person, or watching a documentary about some exotic country, it's going to give you a sense of joy and upliftment. Going out to a, fine dining experience with a restaurant that's from a faraway place. I went to a wonderful Persian pub the other day. Magnificent. Those sorts of things will really be, ingrained on your memory in the best possible way. Lord Jupiter of the 5th house in the 9th house, international affairs of all sorts are blessed. Not only that, but Jupiter rules the 2nd house of food, so it is a good week to go and dine in an international cuisine. But Jupiter also is the Lord of the 2nd, which is your resources, the money that you save, the money and investments that you make. Here in the 9th house, you may find that your money increases this week, that there is some sort of financial growth, or that investments, particularly international investments that you have made, can flourish and pay off in some manner for you this week. So again, International affairs can prove very lucrative because of what's going on for you in the 9th house this week, my beautiful Scorpio friends. And if you would like a reading with me to dive deeper into your chart, places have now opened up for the month of July with me, but they are filling fast. So head to the link in the description if you would like a personal analysis of your chart and support for your current life situation. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video to help us reach more people with the Astro Good News and to curb that pesky algorithm to help all the astrologers out there on YouTube.